Aloha e komo mai. My name is Joy Lacanyanta. I am your facilitator today. It's session 3 of the Inner Peace series, and today we will be addressing trauma with guided meditation and using alpha binaural waves as part of music therapy. So let's understand what trauma is. Trauma is an emotional response to a significant, terrible life event. It can include one-time, multiple, or long-lasting repetitive events. Trauma affects everyone differently. There's different symptoms, different reactions, and different triggers as well. The initial reactions to trauma can include exhaustion, confusion, sadness, anxiety, agitation, frustration, numbness, dissociation, confusion, physical arousal, and even blunted affect, or that means that you're being triggered. Continuous distress without periods of relative calm or rest during this traumatic event or afterwards would lead to severe dissociation symptoms and intense intrusive recollections that can continue despite return to safety. Delayed responses to trauma can also include persistent fatigue, sleep disorders, nightmares, fear of recurrence, anxiety focus, or on flashbacks, certain depression, which is a normal human response to a very traumatic, life-changing event, and avoidance of emotions, sensations, or activities that are associated with trauma, even remotely. So that could be a scent, something like you see on a TV, like a commercial, that then would bring a person with that traumatized memory back into that form of a flashback. There are 3 types of trauma. First is acute trauma, which results from a single incident. That could be an accident, a fire, a death in the family. Chronic trauma is repeated and prolonged, such as domestic violence, child abuse, or parental abuse. Complex trauma is exposure to varied and multiple traumatic events, often of an invasive interpersonal nature. According to the National Institute on Health, NIH, depending on the severity of the acute, chronic, or complex trauma, there are biological alterations highly associated with post-traumatic stress disorder, or what we call as PTSD, or acute stress disorder, or ASD. Some of these symptoms include changes in the limbic system functioning, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis activity changes with variable cortisol levels, neurotransmitter-related dysregulation of arousal and endogenous opioid systems. As you can see, that is an example of a brain which is healthy on the left side and a brain who has suffered PTSD. It doesn't mean that you're permanently in that situation. Your brain cannot ever recover. The brain is a very amazing muscle. It has resilient factors. We haven't even tapped into the potential of what brains do. Now, trauma and guilt can leave you feeling or believing that you're defective, broken, unlovable, unworthy, and worthless, leaving you to blame yourself for something you shouldn't have to forgive yourself for. The important message here is to not blame yourself. Now, what is self-blame? Self-blame amplifies our perceived inadequacies, whether real or imagined, and basically it paralyzes us before we can even begin to move forward. Sometimes we get so programmed to extending loving kindness to other people and be a caregiver that we fail in first extending love to ourselves. And that frequently comes in the form of self-blame. It can be a societal or social-cultural aspect that focuses more on apologizing and putting blame on others and ourselves rather than focusing on the solution. There are steps that we can take to address trauma and to manage it as best as we could. There are certain questions that I wanted to pose that we can have a sacred discussion with ourselves, a conversation, so to speak. 1, how can I best heal? 2, how can I engage in self-care? You can even ask yourself, how can I best support myself in difficult times? What kind of support and validation do I need the most? And in what ways can I protect myself without blaming myself? Another healthy way to discuss and address trauma is to practice self-talk. Most often, we tend to go into the negative when it comes to ourselves. Instead of saying, oops, I made a mistake, we tend to say, oh no, I'm so stupid. No one likes me. I'm a bad person. I give up. I'll never be able to do this. When on the other side, you could say, you know what? I might have not gotten that perfect, or I have done something bad. This is really hard, but I'm gonna keep trying. Or another way to do things is to self-correct the way that we relate to people. Like if somebody asks you, is this done yet? Or is this project, did you complete this? You can say, well, I'm working on it. I haven't figured out certain parts of it, but I am definitely trying. Instead of saying, oh God, I give up. I can't do this anymore. As I've mentioned, self-talk is a way to create a sacred conversation with yourself. And an important benefit of it is improving or increasing your self-confidence and acknowledging your self-worth. No one will be able to do that except for you. So practice saying, I am enough and I'm worthy is an important step towards healing trauma. Now, how do we do and practice positive self-talk? It's not like you're gonna go barge into a room and say, hello, I am the most incredible person in the world. That's not gonna be a good introduction. Positive self-talk raises self-esteem and brings uplifting feelings. The word affirmation is often used to describe positive self-talk. Well, affirmation is a statement or assertion about yourself that is hopeful, optimistic, and empowering. It is a statement. Positive self-talk is a conversation. What are some of the negative self-talk that you've done and said about yourself besides, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I'm stupid? All of us have done that. But the fact is, you can change that. So it's a choice. Would you rather feel negative or would you rather feel positive? I mean, I would wish more people honestly say, yes, I feel more positive, but that's not always the truth. That's not always what is going on in our brains. So first, you must realize what are your negative self-talk messages. How can you transform messages into positive ones? Sometimes when we're preparing ourselves in the morning, brushing our teeth and all that stuff, what goes on in your brain, right? Do you just go through a laundry list of things I need to do? Well, why don't you just add a routine to it to say, I'm great, I can handle these things, I'm a creative person, I'm going to be calm today. Now, how do we prepare for meditation? First, you have to find a quiet, relaxing, safe space. That's not always possible inside our homes. So sometimes maybe the beach or a park or even inside your bathroom is okay, as long as you feel safe in it and you feel comfortable. You also have to wear comfortable clothing, nothing binding, maybe not a sequins gown, removing jewelry that can tangle, and also drink plenty of water. Hydrate before or after the meditation session that you have. The point here is to restore, refresh, and relax. Part of our preparation, I'm going to walk you through the whole reflexology and diaphragmatic breathing. So there's acupressures all throughout our bodies. In the screen, you'll see two hands, and this is basically acupressure points where you will just put your palms up and point it circularly. You're going to do it on both hands. You might feel some nodules that might be sore, so just kind of try to knead that in. Don't overdo it or hurt yourself by any means. So just practice. The next one is palms up with 2 fingers, and the palm can take more pressure than certain areas of the body, particularly this side can be more sensitive, but the palm, just create that circular movement. And this is supposed to relieve any tension on your head. If you're experiencing headaches or kind of nausea, this can also help. These two motions between the thumb and the pointer finger and the palm motion. I just wanted to show the reflexology pressure points in terms of the hands and feet. We're not gonna use your feet today as an example, but I do want you to press the tips of your fingers in a circular motion, not too deep, but if you like it to go more pressure, then you can, but not to the point of hurting yourself. So these are pressure points that can help you focus, particularly the pointer finger and the middle finger. It deals with the head, and that's what we're trying to release the tension and to release the pressure. Next is the auriculotherapy. I would like you to focus on the left side of the screen, which is the 5 points in your ear. So this is the vagus nerve massage, or part of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically do a circular motion on your ear and just follow the pressure points. Then you're going to do it on the other ear. What this does is that it releases tension. Actually, the ears is responsible, or the vagus nerve in our system is responsible for our balancing. When you pull on it this way, feel that there's a rustling noise. Now, on the screen, you'll see the two caricatures just pulling the ear off. I don't want you to do that. I want you to just slowly and gently add circulation to your ears. And what it does is it relaxes. You will feel some sort of warmth by doing this. It doesn't just work for human beings, it also works on pets. So if they're feeling listless or creating some trouble, try to do this and see the difference in their behavior. But first, focus on yourself. During session 1, I went through the diaphragmatic breathing briefly. I would like to go through it again with you since we're going to be practicing it today. So you need to have a balanced upper body. You can sit on the floor or sit on a chair. It's fine. What we're doing right now is meditation using sitting exercises. So this is actually good for your core as well. What you're going to do is that you're going to visualize your breathing. As you are breathing down, you're touching your belly and you're expanding your diaphragm. And when you release, you're following the airflow. In the Chinese tradition, this is called following the qi, or the life force, which is very much connected to our breathing. So balance your upper body. Chest must expand when you're inhaling, and then expand your diaphragm, pushing down, filling your body with air. Hold for 4 seconds and release. Let's continue with the guided meditation. First, make sure that you sit up straight, raise and roll your shoulders. Remember the diaphragmatic breathing that we're practicing earlier. That is the type of breathing that you need to have. We carry a lot of our stress because we're always working on a computer. So try to work on that. Another way is to put your shoulders up next to your ear as close as possible and breathe out. You're doing the diaphragmatic breathing and combine it with shrugging your shoulders, trying to release that tension from your back, your neck, and your shoulders. Let's do that together. You are raising your shoulders as you're inhaling, and tension, releasing the tension from your back, your neck, your shoulders, and breathe out. In terms of guided meditation, you can hear in the background the alpha binaural waves or beats. This will help release the stress And it's neurologically proven to increase the production of dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. These are the happy feelings that our brain produces when we are emotionally stable and actually enjoying ourselves. It also improves memory and focus and improve your mental and emotional well-being. Guided meditation is listening to somebody's voice. You do not have to think about what's next, so that I am not thinking about my grocery list or what type of lesson plan I need to prepare for the next day. I'm just focusing. So in this situation, using alpha, theta, or any type of binaural wave frequency that can calm the mind, that can help decrease anxiety, and that can improve your memory and focus could actually help you. That, in combination with the diaphragmatic breathing and then the preparation before the meditation, magnifies your relaxation level and decreases your anxiety. We're going to proceed with the guided meditation and visualization exercise. You're going to continue with the diaphragmatic breathing, and then you're going to listen to the sound of my voice. You can close your eyes. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, look at a focal point that can help you visualize. Listen to the music and let it calm you down. You're going to visualize a safe space. It can be anything that you want to. It could be in a beach, a forest, a backyard, anywhere, a waterfall. Just try to add as many details as possible to what you see in your safe space. Once you have a clear vision of your sacred space, hold it in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath. Hold it. And breathe out. You're going to continue with your deep breathing. Before you go into your sacred space, imagine a veil or a curtain. Before you go in, you're going to go through this veil. You're going to notice that your sacred space has all of your friends, your family, and loved ones who are dear to you, both living and dead. You don't have to wear a mask or be afraid of the pandemic. This is your space, and only people who support you and love you are allowed inside here. Go ahead and greet them, hug them. It could be your grandmother who passed away, a beloved friend, even your pets from before in your childhood. Fill this space with as much love and care. Now off to the side, you're going to see a special spot. This spot is only for you. You're going to move towards that in your mind's eye. Make it as comfortable as you can. You can be sitting on a fluffy cloud, a nice, comfortable sofa, whatever you feel. And in your sacred space, you're going to start thinking about the positive affirmations. Thank yourself for giving yourself time to have this moment, to have this opportunity, to have a conversation with your inner peace. Now, on an inner level, you're going to say that I am enough, I am worthy. I deserve to be loved. I deserve a bright future. I deserve all the blessings this world can afford because I am a good person. I may not be perfect, but I am a work in progress. Take another deep breath, and you're going to inhale positive energy. So let's do that. Inhale positive energy. Hold it. And exhale. Now this time, you're going to inhale positive energy. And when you hold, you're going to think of whatever pains you, whatever painful memory is holding you back, whatever hurt feelings that you are carrying as a burden. And then you're going to release it when you exhale. Let's do that together. Inhale positive energy. Hold it. Remember all of that pain that is bottled up, all of the suffering you've endured, and release it. Do it again. Let's inhale positive energy. Hold it. Think about all of the grief, guilt, and pain you have endured, and release it. See that pain moving away further and further away from you. Nothing can hurt you in your sacred space. Anytime you feel like you are in fear or anxious, you can go to this space, and immediately you will feel that you are more relaxed, you are more calm, you're breathing deeply, and you're being restored. Your mind, body, and soul are aligning together to support you in whatever challenges lies ahead of you. Now let's take this positive energy and let's bring it to a different level. When you inhale positive energy, you're going to have a visualization of what you want to achieve this week. And not just maybe this week, it could just be for today. And you tell yourself, I'll be able to do this. I will be able to conquer the challenges. It could be a presentation or an assignment or work that you have to complete. So thank yourself for being strong enough to do this. You're inhaling positive energy. Now visualize that goal for this week and say that I will do my best. I will be present in every moment that is needed. I will be forgiving if I make mistakes. I am enough. As you're breathing in again, hold it and breathe out. Keep in your mind's eye all of the details in your sacred space. The more detailed it is, even the scent, the music that you're hearing, everything here, feel that it's strengthening you, feel that it is supporting you, feel that there is a place of love for you, and that place is within yourself. You're going to breathe in deeply again. Hold it. And relax. You're going to slowly look at your environment. You're going to stand up from your special spot. You're going to move back to where your family, your loved ones, and your favorite people. And you're going to greet them. You're going to bid them farewell and thank them for the opportunity of supporting you. Then you're going to start walking towards that veil or curtain. You're going to acknowledge that the reality is going to come back in. And when you step out, you're slowly going to realize that you feel much stronger, much calmer, and more relaxed. You can open your eyes and realize that this is a place that you can always come back to whenever you need it. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today, and hopefully this has helped you understand and address trauma, as well as give you some guidelines on how to practice guided meditation for yourself. If you practice it at least 7 times in different days, then you will develop a routine. And once you develop that routine, it turns into a habit. And a habit, once it's positive, can be ingrained in how you see life. I'm very honored that I had the opportunity to facilitate today's workshop in terms of guided meditation. I have been working with women who have experienced domestic violence and survivors of trauma in developing this guided meditation lesson plan that I'm so happy to share with all of you. And I hope that would also be my wish for you, that no matter what you go through in life, that you are able to access these skills to address whatever challenges that life has for you moving forward. Mahalo. It's supposed to actually relax you. The other thing that I forgot to teach you guys is this point in your brain, in your top of your head, the crown chakra. You can do this. I mean, don't dig in, okay? I mean, we're not trying to burn a hole in your head. And this part in your breastplate, if you're having problems falling asleep, this is a surefire way. There's acupressure points here. You know that game where you're doing that, right? Now it's just relaxing. It's like you from your forehead to the top here, and then you're just relaxing, and you're doing your diaphragmatic breathing the whole time. And then you'll feel a lot more relaxed. I suggest this is best to do at night or very early in the morning. You know, if you feel like a soreness, like, you know, that means that it hasn't been circulating well, right? And you can feel it too, because we're always hunched over typing away, right? So just kind of try to relax yourself and get yourself to that space. And at this point, you're feeling, because once you can verbalize those positive affirmations, I'm not saying follow exactly how I did the positive affirmations. You can customize it to yourself. You can customize the positive affirmations and the self-guided self-talk, your conversation with yourself, to the specific issue that you're having. You know, I really wanted to study this. Then I started working with women who are survivors of domestic violence. And that's how I created this curriculum. There's so many other ways of doing positive self-talk or guided meditation. I know that YouTube has that stuff. Sensei has taught us how to do, and the Dalai Lama has taught us how to do the Om Tare Tutare Tore Soha I don't know if I'm still saying that right. And then the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. That's chanting. That's one way. That's what we learned last week. This is more of a self-discussion. This is a sacred discussion with yourself. And with the background that I have in the back, you know, that's just an example. Not everybody needs to be on the beach. You know, let's not crowd the beach. It could be anywhere that you want to, that you feel safe. A lot of the things that I figured out with trauma survivors is that they have an issue with separating themselves from the problem, so, or from people. So one good thing that you can do is actually go into a mindset where it's okay for your family to be in that sacred space, whether living or dead. So you can invite whomever you feel is a good support network for you, whomever you feel is going to be there for you and can boost your self-confidence. It can be a loved one who is not in the mainland, who's not, I mean, it could be your friend, your best friend, but they're not here in Hawaii right now. So it's okay to invite those people. And then, but create a space. The important thing is creating your own space for yourself. Neurologically, you can calm yourself down within 47 seconds from a major trigger, a major attack. Like if you're having an anxiety, you can start with diaphragmatic breathing and then out, and then just say those positive emotions. Now for your feedbacks. Does it work? Does it not work?
For me, it was very calming, soothing, and it was because I was processing. One of the things that was very helpful was the tone of your voice and the words that you were using. It was almost like a real comforting melody that was taking me through. And as I was listening to your words, I was doing the work. The work was not a struggle, and there was no resistance. And I think that was very calming to me, that as we were going through, and I was thinking about the different things that, you know, as you posed different things, that was the thing that I thought was most wonderful, that there was no resistance to them. There was an easiness into the flow of the work. So I definitely appreciate that.
But for me, guided meditation, because there is that less of a resistance, you're following somebody's voice, right? It's easier to focus. And then I am a firm believer of the neurological benefits of it, because it's been proven by neuroscientists, you know, particularly when it comes to acute stress disorder. These are people who've been abused as children, you know, domestic violence survivors. And because that was part of my research, I actually saw the difference in some of the women who I've worked with. And what did you notice in terms of the stiffness when we were doing the reflexology? Did that help out? Did anybody feel pain when you do this and all that? Anybody?
I noticed one side, my hand is a lot more sore than the other side when I do the reflexology stuff.
Right. Is that your working hand or your dominant hand?
My recessive hand.
Oh, recessive hand is more sore. Oh, okay. So I guess there's more, you needed more circulation. I mean, I've been researching this for at least 8 years now. I've been practicing it with, again, a lot of trauma patients. I'm not an MD, you know. In sociology, we have medical sociology, and part of that is this. And that's why I focus on trauma survivors and how to relieve the pain. And a lot of them are able to talk about that pain now. So it's the power of the mind, you know. People have, if you do this exercise right before a presentation or right before something that you feel is going to be stressful, it's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay. Again, what I mentioned is that I'm really honored to have this opportunity to share this method of guided meditation with everyone. And hopefully I get to see more of you next week with the session 4.